Nick Alt, the Ozark Angler here. I got Jody Hughes with me. He was our old president of our club with the Eldon Bassmasters. I'm sporting their shirt. He just came off a win this weekend with the TBF out of Lake of the Ozarks for April 2nd and 3rd. Jody, how are you doing today?
All right, how you?
Doing all right. Now, you just took first, and what was your total weight?
Total weight was 31.89.
31.89, and you had big fish on day one?
On Saturday, I only had 4 keepers, but I had one that weighed 706.
706, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And day two, what'd you end up with? Was it a little bit tougher bite?
No, actually it was a better bite for me, I thought. I had a limit. I went to the same bank. I caught the 7-pounder on, and I caught 3 4-pounders off that same bank.
Okay, now that bank, were you focusing on more down towards the dam or upriver or in the Gravois area?
We took out of the Gravois arm, but I went down more towards the dam, worked around the 3 to 4 mile mark.
Is there a reason that you went down that way, or is it just a hunch that you felt that the fish was better, or was it from the tournament earlier in the year?
I had actually pre-fished Thursday, and I'd kind of hopped around the lake looking for different places to fish, and I'd pulled in on this bank. In the first cast, I caught one that went about 4.5, and I just left it.
Okay, so you knew right where you were going to start from.
I knew it was a place I was going to go and hopefully catch a fish.
All right, well, we want to kind of get an insight on what the baits that you threw were. So if you have them right there, so why don't you go ahead and show everybody what you caught them on this weekend.
Now, there was a lot of people throwing the wiggle wart, and I didn't throw the wiggle wart Saturday at all. I threw a War Eagle spinner bait, double Colorado blades, with a swim bait on the back of it.
Now, is that pre-made from War Eagle?
Yeah, that's a pre-made War Eagle spinner bait.
Okay. Those are my favorite.
I actually went around the lake looking for these and ended up finding them only one place, and that was over at Fritz's Bait and Tackle in Osage Beach.
Okay, Fritz.
And this is the main bait that I used. I caught all the big fish on it.
Now, is that a 1/2 ounce or 3/4?
That's a 1/2 ounce.
Okay, I was gonna say it's a pretty big head on it. With a big swim bait on the...
With a big swim bait on the back of it. And the swim bait did seem to make a difference, and it was slow roll. And every once in a while, I'd just stop and even let it flutter and fall, then pick up your speed to crank it back up, and it would hit it off of that fall.
Gotcha. So it's like reel it in, kill it, and they'll go right
I'd keep the boat in about 16 foot of water, and I'd say the fish were in any place from 8 to 10 foot.
Okay, now were you fishing kind of parallel to the bank? Or
no, I was throwing straight into the bank and reeling back out.
Okay, so were you focusing on slanted banks, shallow bank,
no, like I said, the boat would stay in about 16 foot, and you could throw and hit the shore.
Okay,
so I mean, it was just a gradual, slow sloping bank. The gravel, it was more of a pea gravel to rock maybe the size of a softball. It's not big hard rock. I could not get a fish off of any kind of shelf rock. They wouldn't get it.
Gotcha. Okay, so was that the one you caught the big fish on?
This is the one I caught the big fish on.
Which is a big bait. I can see why that would happen.
And it's actually the one I caught 3 of my 5 on Sunday with also.
Gotcha. Well, that's a good looking bait. I threw willows on Sunday, and I think that might have been a big factor. I didn't throw a big enough vibration in some of this little bit dirtier water.
Yep.
So what was the other bait?
On Sunday, it just seemed everybody was talking about catching them on a wiggle wart, and several people in our club had been catching them on a wiggle wart. And Sunday it was so calm that that spinner bait, of course, just doesn't work in calm water. So I just went to a wiggle wart that I felt comfortable throwing. This is the color. It's got a purple back on it. The top Fire Tiger sides with an orange belly. And on this, it was kind of fishing, keep the boat in about 10 foot of water, and just throw it to the bank and really slow roll it, and every once in a while even pause it. And they were hitting it almost like it was a jerk bait. And you pause it, all of a sudden when you start to reel it, they were just eating it, and they were swallowing it when they hit it.
Now, were you focusing on bouncing off the rock, or were you just kind of just reeling it in?
Just slow cranking it. You know, if it hit the rock, slow down a little bit just to lift it up on them. But like I said, when you're in 10 foot of water and you're throwing it, you know, it's hitting the bottom for the first 5 feet or better, and then it comes off. And we're back to the same thing. Those fish, about 8 foot of water, you know, just like I was doing with the spinner bait. But in the calm water, it seemed like the wiggle wart was the thing to throw.
Gotcha. And especially with that stop and go retrieve every now and then, just gave them a chance if they were following it to come up, which you said they were inhaling it, so most likely they probably followed it for a portion. And as soon as you stopped it, they came up and committed to it. Now, what were you guys focused on then versus now?
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's same thing.
Because the water temperature really hasn't changed that much.
No.
It's just up, down, variable.
Yeah, the lake has actually just came up, but it's the same type of deal. In the club tournament, some of the guys were catching them on the wiggle warts then. Saturday, I didn't throw a wiggle wart at all. I stuck with that spinner bait. I didn't have a fish in the boat at 10:30.
So you think it was an afternoon bite on Saturday then for you?
I think Saturday and Sunday both. Well, when the water was calm, I think it was the wiggle wart bite was better.
Yeah.
Because spinner bait just normally doesn't work in calm water. And throw that wiggle wart in the morning when it was calm, and then in the afternoons, the water was starting to warm up a little bit, and maybe the fish were coming up off the bottom or moving in to feed a little bit more because the shad were coming up. and that spinnerbait seemed to work. But you didn't have to have strong winds like we had. It was just a little ripple on the water, just enough to break it up.
Well, because Sunday, my best bite didn't happen until after about 11 o'clock, after the wind really started howling. But then I was finding covered coves with, where I could pitch a jig under the docks. That's where we caught ours. We're under docks. But were you focused on clarity on Saturday or Sunday, or did
the only thing I noticed was if you went to the very back of the coves, in any of them, it seemed to be a whole lot dingier water.
Gotcha.
So I was kind of coming out maybe to where.
So you think that rain runoff created all that muddy water in the back?
I don't know if it's done that or it's just never ever cleared up from being muddy all winter
well,
long.
the gravel was terrible. I mean, it's clearing up, and then we also went down. See, I fished 6 Mile, and that was where all my keepers came from, was 6 Mile, which the water clarity was way better than up the gravelway. But we found out the farther back into a pocket you went, the dirtier the water got.
And that's how it was for us. And a lot of people, this bank where I caught all these big fish, boats ran by us all day long, both days, and I never saw another boat stop and fish this bank I fished on. Nobody.
Really?
And they all saw us fishing there.
That's crazy. Guys, we're going to get out in the water and try and do some fishing and see if Jody can't show me how to catch a fish or two, because I didn't do this good this weekend. So thank you, Jody. We're going to get out there and catch some fish.
Let's have some fun.
And there you have it, guys. Jody Hughes. We ended up going out fishing. We caught a few nice fish. Nothing wild and crazy. We both agreed that the bite died off pretty fast as the evening sun started to set. The midday bite was where it was at. Jody has extended experience on Lake of the Ozarks. He's also a licensed guide, and it's shown through this weekend how much skill he has. And he specializes in crappie and bass, so if you guys would be interested in setting up a guide trip, feel free to inbox me or leave a comment below and I can send you in the right direction. His rates are really reasonable, and he can easily plan you a trip anytime in the near future. I also want to give a shout out to Farron Morris. He's our current Eldon Bassmaster Club president. He's actually finished in 3rd place, so both of these guys showed their level of expertise in the sport of fishing through the fact that they both qualified to represent the state of Missouri in 2017, which is no small feat, as many of you should know. It takes time, dedication, and just hard work to reach that level of competitiveness in the sport. So congratulations to those guys. And I also want to give a shout out to my friend Bill Elliott. He set up my awesome intro, and I tried to create one myself, and it just never turned out the way I wanted it. And he created this, and it turned it out phenomenal. So as always, take a kid fishing, get them into this wonderful sport, and hopefully that you guys can have a wonderful rest of your day, and get them out there and catch some crappie right now. They're biting hard. Have a great day, guys.